they need help. They need your help as a real estate agent. So your mindset has to be you're there to help them, and they need you. They need your expertise.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the REDX Podcast. I'm Tyler Fenn, and I'm here with David Frost. We are going to talk about some awesome stuff today. I'm very excited. Welcome, and thank you for being with us today.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Look forward to it. Most agents will call you and say, "Hey, Tyler, this is David Frost, the Frost Real Estate Team. I'm calling at your house about your house at 123 Smith Street. Is that still for sale? Hey, do you want to hire an agent? You want to hire me? You want me to list it?" No, we don't even go into trying to list the property. In our script, there's nothing about listing it. It's about getting the appointment. Once we get the appointment, then you have to establish the rapport with that seller at the house, right? And that takes some good training and going over that a lot and a lot of appointments. But once you get there, that's when you establish the rapport with the seller. And then usually right before I leave, if everything works out like I want it to, great. Then I'll ask them, "Hey, Tyler, have you thought about listing your property at all?" And you may say, "No, I want to give it a try," or I want to make, more money. I would always come back with say, "Okay, if I can make you about the same amount of money or more, if we list it and then you can sell it quicker, would that even interest you?" Every time it's a yes. They're always going to say, "That would interest me. I don't know if I'd list with you." No, I didn't say you'd list with me, but if I can show you that I can make you about the same amount or more, would you give me an opportunity? And usually we list them. So I went to a FSBO years ago, and I had great rapport with her. She never listed the property with me. So, obviously that's what I wanted, but she never listed with me. But you know what? She has referred me 2 different sellers based on the trust that she thought, that we had together. I answered all her questions. There were some documents. She was trying to sell the whole house on her own. And I said, "Listen, do you have these documents? I don't have those. I'm going to help you fill them out." Right. That's how you get the second appointment, by the way, if they're not going to list with you on the first one. You ask if they have the proper documents. Most of the time they do not. So I say, "Listen, what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to the office. I'm going to print those out. Let me come back tomorrow. Let's fill them out together so you're taken care of." It has nothing to do with me listing your property, but this stuff can get you in some trouble. Buyers nowadays, they want to see these documents. It's required, and I'll help you fill them out. You have them, you're ready. And if you got any questions, I'm there to help you. That in itself, for me, if I was a seller, I'm hiring that person. They're doing it for free, right? And that always works. The sellers love that. So remember, you're their subject matter expert. And if they're not always thinking they're just a number to you, that you do care, because we do care, then it's going to get you along, more in the long run. Just like this FSBO referred me to 2 different sellers.
I would imagine also that the discipline that comes from a military lifestyle carries over to a great schedule as an agent, right? Your time is probably time blocked, and you know what your day looks like. Is that fair of me to make that guess?
Yes. I mean, for the most part, yeah, there's times where I get off track and do things I probably shouldn't and interrupt things. But ultimately, yes, I think that's what has, people always ask, what do you think has made you successful in a short amount of time? Because, my first year I sold 14 houses, and I call that like Stevie Wonder real estate. I was just kind of out there running around. I didn't know what I was doing. I just kind of came upon a buyer here and there. And then my second year I was at 48 sold, then 71. And then we just keep going, right? And so I'm very lucky. But I think what's made me successful is what you're talking about, Tyler, is discipline, is showing up every day, treating it like a job, right? And then implementing things every day that works or that you need to do, and just doing it, and don't get distracted by other things, and just trying to focus on doing that. And that's what I try to teach my team, even if I may get off doing something else based on my schedule is a little more hectic at times than some of my team members, but I've got them on a certain schedule that they do, and they're very effective in a short amount of time. That both of them are outstanding. So
So let me ask you this and put you on the spot a little bit. Can we talk about what your schedule looks like?
Sure.
I know that REDX is a big part of that, and that makes me really happy.
Yes.
It makes your business really happy. But can we talk a little bit about what your schedule looks like? Because for a lot of agents, you're right, is to come in and do the things that I know I should be doing is important. But there's a lot of agents that sometimes just don't know what they don't know. And so sometimes they go, well, I know that there's a few things I should do, but that doesn't fill my day. So what are some of those other things that you use to continually generate business and keep your business growing? I mean, 14, 48, 71 in the first 3 years, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So how do other people do that?
Yeah. I mean, you really just got to have a lot of conversations. But as far as the schedule, like you're saying, is I keep it, I don't get too detailed with it in a sense of even with my team, because the more detailed, it's just harder to stick to. So I make it easy. So how we do it is the mornings are going to be our prospecting and generating business time, our morning. So we're usually in by about 8:30 every morning.
Okay.
Right. And then all we focus in on is prospecting. So if that's going to be, when we say prospecting, we're counting expireds, for sale by owners, for rent by owners.
Okay.
And your SOI, and then follow up with your past leads from the day prior or 2 days prior, right? You still want to follow up, and then, if you get a listing or you just sold the listing, you may throw in, depending on how many expireds you have, and I'll get into that a little bit in a minute, but you may throw in a just sold, just listed. So use the GeoLeads we use, which is phenomenal, right?
Yes.
And then we do that with the GeoLeads, and we add the slide broadcast in there. Sometimes we can get a bunch of, I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with slide broadcast. You just can do it that way, or you just call them GeoLeads that way too, however you want to do it. But we try to incorporate that daily. Now, all of those we may not get to in the morning all the time, but our market has shifted here so much, and probably in a lot of markets, listings are harder to obtain right now. So you've got to look to do some creative things. So we don't have a lot of expireds anymore. About 2 years ago, we may have 15, 20 a day. Now we're getting 3 or 4, 2 are land, or, or something that may not even, be something we're interested in. So you got to shift, and you got to say, okay, well then if there's no expireds, doesn't mean I go home early or don't call. Let's work for rent by owners, because there's plenty in this market, because it's transitional, right? So that's how we do it.